Hello, I'm Jenica Rayne. Welcome to my YouTube station. I thought today we'd take a look at an exercise. And it's an exercise that I call 2-5-1s. A lot of people call them 2-5-1s. And what the heck does that mean, 2-5-1s? Well, what we're doing in this particular exercise, we're going to play in all 12 keys. The guitar is tuned in fourths. So we're going to go through the whole circle of fifths backwards. We call it the circle of fourths in jazz music. And we're going to play the second chord, the fifth chord, and the first chord in every particular key. And I'm going to show you two root position patterns. All the chords are root based. We're not doing any inverted chords right now. We're going to start out, first of all, let's talk about the keys that we're going to be playing in. We're going to go in from the key of C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B. Then we'll finish the flat keys. We're into B there. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to play in the key of E, A, D, G, and back to C again. And so I'm going to, you can play these chords in many different ways. We can play them as rock and roll chords. I'm going to show you how I play them. So the first chord is a minor chord. The 2 chord in any scale is a minor chord, in any major scale rather. So I'm going to take finger 3 and I'm going to bar it in the 10th fret over the top 4 strings. I'm not so concerned about pushing it that hard in that I get the E string to sound. And I'm muting the A string, and I'm putting my finger 2 over onto the high E string, or the high E string, the low E string rather. And now I'm not even really hitting the high E string or the A string. I've muted them both. And that's a D minor 7 chord. It's the second chord in the key of C. D minor 7. Now if I count up 5 on my fingers from C, C, D, E, F, G, G would be my dominant chord. You have 2 choices of how to play that chord. You can play it as a G7 chord like this, playing the inside 4 chords, or you can play it as a dominant 9th chord. Finger 3 bars over the top 3 strings, finger 2, finger 1. I like that voicing. I love dominant 9th chords, but I use a lot of dominant 7th chords as well. Depends on what your ear likes to hear. So D minor, I'm going to play a G9, and I'm going to go to C major 7. At the 8th fret, finger 1, 2. So my 1 is on the low E, 2 is in the same fret in the 8th fret on the B string, and I stack fingers 3 and 4 on top of each other on the D and G string. I'm muting the A and the E string once again. So that's your first pattern. There are only 2 patterns, and that's one of them. So that's my first pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll do 2 bars of this one just to get myself ready for pattern 2. So, and this is the only other pattern you have to learn. My 2 chord now is a G minor. I'm going to bar the 10th fret with finger 1 from the A string, and I'm going to place finger 2 on the B string in the 11th fret and finger 3 on the 12th fret on the D string. There's G minor. G minor is a second chord in the key of F. So now I'm going to go to C7. I'm going to slide that back. I'm going to bring my fingers up, and I'm making a dominant 7th shape here, C7. And then I'm going to leave my middle finger where it is, bring finger 2 down to the D string, my pinky finger pops in on the B string. The root of this chord now is the F note. Some guys have huge hands and they don't want to bar just coming down. I have smaller hands, so I'm going to bar from the A string. But if you want, you can bar from here. But remember, the root of that chord is F. So here's your 2 patterns. That's a D minor, G9 to C major. And now I'm going into the key of F. G minor, C7, in F. Now, wherever this finger is, finger 1, is the fret that I want to start pattern 1 in again. And I'm just crab crawling those 2 patterns down the fretboard. Now I'm in B flat, F minor, B flat 7. Now I'm in E flat major, B flat minor, E flat 9, A flat major, E flat minor 7, A flat 7 into D flat major, A flat minor 7, D flat 9 to G flat major. I've finished all the flat keys now. And now I'm going into, I'm no longer going to call this D flat, I'm going to call it C sharp because we're going into the key of B, has 5 sharps. So it's not a D flat, it's now C sharp minor 7. To F sharp 7, no longer G flat, into B major 7. I've run out of room, I can't go any further. So I'm going to repeat the same second pattern at the 9th fret. I have F sharp minor, I have B7, now I'm into the key of E. I have B minor, E9 into the key of A. Hang with me, you're almost home. E minor, A7 into the key of D major. A minor, D9 into the key of G major. And the last one, D minor, G7, and back home to C. So it's a great exercise. It'll really help your playing. It'll help your ears. If you can understand, take a look at a circle of fifths. I'll put that up on the website and explain it to you. But you're going in you're playing in all 12 keys. As a matter of fact, you're playing every chord possible as a major, minor, and dominant chord. They're suspended, augmented, diminished chords. We use them not as often as we use major, minor, and dominant chords. So you're getting a real feel for these position, or they're all root position chords. And what I mean by that is the lowest note is the note, like in this case it's D minor. I'm not playing an inverted chord, they're straight up root position chords. From here we can go into arpeggios and play arpeggios through all the 2-5-1s. I would recommend getting an app. I use an app on my phone called iReal Pro. It's like $16 or $17. It's reasonable. It has a bank of songs. It's got all of these. It'll play through the 2-5-1s and major and minor keys, and you can play along with it. You can run your arpeggios from there. We're going to do a bunch of stuff like that. So iReal Pro, we'll put a link to it. And leave me a comment. Let me know if I went too fast or if you got it. And practice. Have a great day. See you later.